In a significant development, authorities in the Dominican Republic, in coordination with U.S. law enforcement agencies, have seized approximately 500 kilograms of the stimulant drug cocaine from a vessel during a joint anti-narcotics operation. The interception of this illicit shipment, which occurred off the coast of the Dominican Republic, represents a successful counter-narcotics effort amid a growing regional focus on combating drug trafficking. The operation was conducted as part of the United States' ongoing commitment to fight drug-related activities across the Western Hemisphere, with military assets from both nations actively participating in the mission. The operation took place in the province of Pedernales, a coastal area in the Dominican Republic. This region has become increasingly significant in the context of regional drug trafficking routes, making it a focal point of anti-narcotics operations by both the Dominican Republic and the United States. In recent months, there has been a concerted effort to clamp down on the flow of illegal narcotics and other illicit substances from South America through the Caribbean and into North America. According to Carlos Divas, the spokesperson for the Dominican Republic's National Drug Control Directorate, the successful interception involved a joint operation that combined air, sea and land forces. Devers provided crucial details about the operation, saying 2 men were arrested with a shipment of 484 packages of suspected narcotics. The deployment of forces by air, sea and land, which lasted just over 12 hours, took place on the coast of Pedernales. This marks a critical success in the broader effort to tackle the illicit drug trade that spans multiple nations and continents. The drugs were intercepted aboard a Kufax-type speedboat that was reportedly operating without a name or registration number, indicating the vessel's attempt to evade authorities and transport the narcotics under the radar. The boat was intercepted several miles south of Beata Island, a location known for its proximity to major drug trafficking routes. The vessel was carrying 18 sacks, each containing packages of illicit drugs wrapped in black adhesive tape. The packages were marked with various logos, potentially indicating their affiliation with specific drug cartels or trafficking organizations. The authorities involved in the operation included the Dominican Republic's National Drug Control Directorate, the Dominican Republic Navy, the Dominican Republic Air Force, and the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration DEA. The operation was conducted in support of Operation Southern Spearhead, a U.S.-led initiative aimed at reducing the presence of illegal narcotics in the region and disrupting transnational criminal networks. The coordinated action was part of broader efforts by both nations to counteract the growing influence of drug trafficking organizations in the Caribbean, which have been a long-standing issue for regional governments. Carlos Divas, in his statement, emphasized the close collaboration between U.S. and Dominican authorities, noting the strategic importance of the operation and the key role of various military and law enforcement agencies. He said, in support of Operation Southern Spearhead of the United States Southern Command, the National Drug Control Directorate, the Dominican Republic Navy and the Air Force, working closely with the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration, underscoring the depth of cooperation that has contributed to the success of the mission. The successful interception of the vessel and the seizure of its drug shipment is a clear demonstration of the effectiveness of interagency and international cooperation. As narcotics continue to flow through the region, such operations play an important role in disrupting the activities of transnational drug trafficking organizations. The operation is a reminder of the ongoing commitment by both the United States and the Dominican Republic to tackle the systemic problem of drug smuggling, which often has devastating social, economic, and public health consequences for the nations involved. The mission unfolded as part of a broader strategy being pursued by U.S. authorities to counter drug trafficking in the Western Hemisphere. In recent weeks, the United States has announced significant efforts to bolster its military presence in the region, with assets deployed to disrupt and dismantle drug networks that stretch from South America through Central America, the Caribbean, and into North America. This operation which culminated in the successful seizure of nearly half a ton of illicit substances, is one of several recent successes in this ongoing campaign. Carlos Divas provided additional context, saying the first operation took place hours after the U.S. Secretary of Defense officially announced the deployment of forces throughout the Western Hemisphere, together with the Joint Interagency Task Force South. This highlights the strategic nature of the operation, conducted shortly after U.S. officials reaffirmed their commitment to intensifying efforts to combat drug trafficking in the Americas. The boat, which was intercepted miles south of Beata Island, was operating without the necessary documentation, a clear indication of the illicit nature of its mission. The 2 men aboard the vessel were arrested without incident, and the drug shipment was seized for further analysis and processing by Dominican authorities. The narcotics are believed to be part of a larger shipment intended for the U.S. market, where demand for illicit drugs remains a persistent problem. This operation also underscores the importance of continued collaboration between the U.S. and its regional partners, as the Dominican Republic and the United States work together to address the growing threat of drug trafficking in the region. Joint operations such as this one will continue to play a crucial role in dismantling criminal organizations. By combining resources and intelligence, authorities can achieve a greater degree of success in preventing the smuggling of narcotics into major markets. The seizure of 500 kilograms of illicit drugs is a significant win in the ongoing fight against transnational drug trafficking in the Caribbean. It not only removes a substantial amount of illegal substances from circulation, but also sends a strong message to criminal organizations that international law enforcement is committed to disrupting their operations. The continued success of these joint operations will rely on the strength of cooperation between the U.S. and its allies in the region, as well as the ongoing dedication of law enforcement agencies on both sides. As the investigation into the seized drugs continues, authorities in the Dominican Republic and the United States will work together to track the full scope of the operation and identify any other individuals or groups involved. This is just one example of the broader efforts being undertaken by both countries to stem the tide of illicit drugs in the region and combat the growing influence of organized crime. In conclusion, the joint operation between the Dominican Republic and the United States has yielded a significant seizure of narcotics, highlighting the effectiveness of international cooperation in combating drug trafficking. As authorities continue to disrupt these criminal networks, both nations remain committed to ensuring the security and safety of the Western Hemisphere by targeting the flow of illicit substances across borders. This operation represents another critical step in the ongoing fight against drug trafficking in the Americas.